Good evening. I thought this evening I would just have a conversation about why I want to be governor. I'm 42 years old. I'll be 43 in November. And one of the major things I've thought about is why do I need to give a person my trust? I've been voting for easily 20 years. And there is not a rule in place that says that if I vote for an individual, that individual must at minimum vote the way the majority want them to vote. Right then and there. What on earth am I doing in this structure? Young people are saying that our generation and before our generation have not left them the right things. And that is the authority to enact change. And that's exactly why I'm running for office. Why do we need to trust representatives when you can put a representative in a seat that does not have to do what you say? Then who are they representing if not the people who put them there? But then I have to turn around in the same system and ask you to trust me enough when all the trust is broken. When we don't even have a rule that simply says you cannot lie to citizens after you fill out a sheet of paper to put yourself on the ballot as a candidate. I still have to ask you for trust. And I don't want to have to trust an elected official. I want you to do your job. You have to trust that person that maybe you're going to be in a relationship with. Hey, I trust that you're a good person. Maybe you're not a liar. But when I trust you to represent me, to do what's best for the majority, because that's literally what you're doing. You're not representing me, the individual. You're representing us, the majority who voted for you, who put you in that office. And I've noticed over the years, that has not happened. Now, with everything that's going on, citizens say, well, let's give it to the court system. Ladies and gentlemen, the court system has the right to dissent. This means not answer and not even tell you why they did not answer. They also have the right to do this little thing that they do, which is called per curiam affirmative. Per curiam is the Latin term for I agree with whatever that person said, and I don't have to tell you why I agreed. Why on earth do we have you in a job that you have a loophole that says you don't even have to answer? Look, if you're too old or there is this thing where it's like, this is just too much for me to do, then maybe your job needs term limits. And I mean a lot of them. Maybe there is a point where you get burned out and you don't need to be there any longer. Because when citizens send something to the judicial system, we expect answers back. But the rules, the structure in place is already set up so that they don't have to answer. You got Republicans who dislike Democrats. You got Democrats who dislike Republicans. This means that I needed to be non-party affiliated because I didn't want to be on either side of already being hated. If you're going to dislike me, you're going to have to find a personal reason to do that. I've met every requirement to run for governor because there is a root cause problem. And the problem is we keep electing people. Anybody we elect, and they do not have to answer to you after they're elected. That's a root cause problem. And it needed a root cause solution. And instead of me sitting back, not explaining this, I decided to not only explain it, but put myself in a position to change it. If the structure is there, we don't need to break it. We may need to, change it a little bit, add to it. Let's add the citizens to the building block. Let's give the citizens more power over elected officials. We needed to figure this part out. If I can do something to mitigate having to trust you to do your job, if we can take the trust out of it, and now we have a law with no loophole. And if you find a way to break that law, then we throw a mitigation effort on top of that. We've got to fix this at its core. If a citizen has a great idea, you're not just gonna get it through because you have a good idea. You're gonna need support and backing. A lot of times that is by way of finances. And everybody with a great idea does not have the financing. Maybe not even to know how to get it. Being educated is not the same as having access. You can have as much education as you want to have, but if you do not have the access to give the great idea that you have, then what is the purpose for the information? We're just arguing back and forward for nothing when we can implement a system where citizens can back one another, which the backing creates the legislation. That's the purpose, and that's working together. There are no quick fixes, so let it go. There will be no fast changes, but we need to put structure in place. I do not talk about all the problems that are happening consistently, because the main goal should be is you asking yourself, do I have the access when I see the problem? And if you do not have the access to solve the problem, who's giving me that? These individuals over the 20 years I have been voting have had the Messiah complex. If you elect me, I'm gonna do all of this stuff for you. Negative. That's a hard no for me. You need to be able to help yourself. You need to be able to help your neighbor. You need to be put in a position that you can help all of us build this together. It will be my job to gather information, bring it to the citizen and say, hey, here is, you elected me to figure out how to run this state. Here is what I came up with, and let me help you out. But what we get people having the audacity to be given a 1,000-page bill, and we've seen multiple of those over the years. Here's a 1,000-page bill. I need you to read that and vote on it in 2 hours. That's a hard no for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I will always vote no. You will never put a 1,000-page bill in front of me and tell me that I need to vote on it, and it need to be done in the next 2 hours, in the next 24 hours. My answer, hey, no. Just tell them no. Hey, everything in here is good. Tell them no. Because there's no way possible that any person, even computer, is going to give an accurate understanding to everybody who needs to hear it. Like the computer could turn around and say, hey, I broke down all the sections. You still have to read over 1,000 pages because you have to read all of the legislations, laws, and statutes that are associated with that bill. That's well over 1,000 pages. And they want to talk about we stayed up for 48 hours. Man, just stop. Help each other by giving yourselves a chance to stop needing to trust. We need to put in mitigation efforts that just push that to the side. Hey, you can trust me to do a good job. But who holds you accountable? No one. Who wants to give up a job where you get paid by citizens and you don't have to answer to them at all? Who's voting to change that? Very few people. Very few people. None of them are going to vote to make those changes. They'll bring it up all day long, but they're not going to do anything to enact those changes. That's why I'm running for governor of Florida. So I would like to end this by saying, my name is Rodney Glover. I'm a candidate for governor of Florida. If you want to support giving yourself a way to not have to trust, but to just hire somebody that's going to do the job we need them to do and bring us the information and let us weigh in, please go to my Linktree. Download the petition. You must download it, print it out, fill it out, and take it to your supervised elections office. Thank you, and you guys have a great evening.